Again, I'll be using grammatical terms, although having a comprehension of a concept is the important thing, rather than remembering the terms so you can correctly use the tense whenever you wish. In English we have something called a past participle, which is a word that often ends in D, for example, loved, wanted or lifted. In Spanish we have something similar. We have ADO for AR verbs and IDO for the others. So if we take an AR verb such as fascinar, to fascinate, we can change it to fascinado, fascinated. We can take prevenir, to prevent, and change it to prevenido, prevented. There are a few words ending in ido that require an accent, just to make it sound normal, like caído, leído, or traído, as the I can sound like a Y if you do not have an accent with those particular words. You only need to concern yourself with those only when you write them down. In English we have some strange irregular past participles that do not use D, like the verb to sleep. Its past participle is slept. Another one is from the verb to write, written. In Spanish we have the same concept. Hacer can mean to do, hecho can mean done. Abrir means to open. Abierto means opened, although most verbs use either ada or ido. We can use them with the word have, to have done, to have spoken. In this context we use the verb haber, which can mean to have, amongst other meanings. Try not to confuse yourself with the verb tener, which also means to have, but is used for possessions like to have a brother or to have a camera. The perfect tense is just a name. It is not the best tense or anything like that. I like to think of it as the have or has tense. It is used for events that occur in a time period that has not ended, for example, this year or this week. It is also used when the event has some lingering effect on something in the present. There are regional variations regarding when it is used, but I usually only concern myself with the Spanish spoken in Spain. I have grouped the words for to have like this because I think it is better to learn and hemos first. Means I have. Hemos means we have. The others are a, as, and an. If you know that a means he, she, you have, then you can add s and n to form the other two. The vosotros form can be learned last. Habéis, which means you all have, which is used in Spain. So that's hemos, a, as, an, and habéis. If you already know the future tense, you may recognize 5 of those sounds as they are used in that tense. Some examples. If I went skiing twice this year, then that event occurs in a time period that has not ended, so I use this tense. He esquiado, I skied. 2 veces, 2 times. Este año, this year. If I skied twice last year without any consequence to the present, I would use the preterite. Esquié 2 veces el año pasado. If I was talking to someone and they said that I looked a little pale, I could say, he estado enfermo, I have been ill. The illness has a consequence in the present time. If I was talking generally about being ill and recovered at some time in the past, I would use the preterite and say, estuve enfermo. Another lingering effect into the present is, no lo he terminado todavía, I haven't finished it yet. In Spain you can optionally use it to talk about something that has happened today. If the event is very recent, it is usual to use this perfect tense, although if something happened a few hours ago, you could either use the preterite or this perfect tense. Spanish prefers the present tense for events that started in the past and continuing into the present, especially where the length of time has been specified, such as if you moved to Spain and continue to live there. You would use the present tense because you have not stopped living there. Someone could ask you, ¿Cuánto tiempo hace que vives aquí? How long have you been living here? The vives part is in the present tense. Another example is translating I have been studying Spanish for 2 years. I can use the present tense and say estudio español desde hace 2 años, or hace 2 años que estudio español, which sounds more formal with a hace construction than llevo 2 años estudiando español. Using the word llevar like this is more frequent in everyday Spanish. This uses something called a gerund to make the word estudiando, which I have not covered in this video. Note the difference between these sentences. If I use the present tense and say llevo 2 semanas en España, I have been in Spain for 2 weeks. This clearly shows that I am still in Spain. But if I use this perfect tense and said he estado 2 semanas en España, then this implies that I have left. The pluperfect is also called the past perfect, but I like to think of it as the had tense. It is used to talk about an event that occurred before another event. It is very easy to form. You may recognize the endings as they are exactly the same as the imperfect tense. Había can mean I, he, she, you had. You can just add s, n and mos for those other forms. Habías, you had, habíamos, we had, and habían, they or you all had. You can use that trick again and change habíamos to habíais to translate you all had. Some examples. Había comido, I had eaten, cuando trajo la comida, when he brought the food. Trajo is in the preterite to express one past event, but the eating of the food part happened earlier, so I use había for I had. I can also say había comido, I had eaten, antes de, before, ir al cine, going to the cinema. Anyway, that's enough for another video. Thank you for watching.